Hello, awesome students. Today we're going to talk about the 5 pillars of social studies plus 2, or as we call them, the Super 7. Please make sure you have your note sheet and a pencil ready to fill in the note sheet as we go along. You can always pause at any time if I go too fast for you. What is a pillar? A pillar is something strong used for support. I'm sure you've seen many porches held up by pillars before, and here you have the ruins of the Parthenon in Greece. You can see all the pillars there. The 5 pillars of social studies help us to remember the different parts of social studies as we study it. The 5 pillars are economics, culture, history, government, and geography. Pillar 1 is history. History is the events that have happened in the past that help us understand why things are the way they are today. They have helped shape the future. History is a record of the past. It shapes the world as it is today, and historians search for primary sources that tell us what actually happened in history, eyewitnesses, events. We certainly weren't around when the pyramids were built, and most researchers weren't around when they were built either. But through primary sources, we can see a glimpse into the past. Pillar number 2 is government. Government are the laws or rules by which we live, and we divide governments mainly into 2 parts, limited governments and unlimited governments. Government is defined as the people and groups within a society that have the authority to make the laws, to make sure they are carried out, and to settle disagreements about them. 2 main kinds of governments, and then they're broken down more thoroughly later, is a limited government, such as our democracy, and an unlimited government, also known as totalitarianism. And in a democracy, a citizen of a democracy has rights and duties. In most governments, citizens have rights and duties. In unlimited governments, where the leader doesn't have to obey the same laws that the citizens do, the citizens definitely have fewer rights. Now, in the United States, we definitely have a limited government. In Cuba, they have an unlimited government where the leaders don't have to follow the same laws as their citizens. Pillar number 3 is economics. Economic systems is defined as different ways that people meet their daily needs. There are 4 main types of economic systems: traditional, command, market, and mixed economy. We will be breaking those down and talking about them later. In economics is defined as people, how they manage their resources by producing, exchanging, and using goods and services. There are 3 types of resources: natural, human, and capital. There are 4 kinds of economies, as we just said: traditional, command, market, and mixed economies. Depending on the level of development of a country, you will find different kinds of economies. Pillar 4 is a very interesting pillar. It is culture. Culture is the way of life of a group of people. They share similar beliefs and customs. A few of the things that we can say are make up part of culture: food, clothing, religion, music, language, and much more. For instance, art, sports, recreation, shelters. We'll be talking more about that later. Culture is the beliefs, customs, laws, art, and ways of living a group of people share. Here are some illustrations that show you different aspects of culture. Language, the way people dress, their music, their traditions, and so on. Pillar 5 is geography. We divide geography into 5 themes: location, place, movement, human-environment interaction, and region. Geography, as we just said, has those 5 themes, and here are pictures that maybe will help you understand each theme a little better. The last one down here is the human-environment interaction, and this is movement here. Now, we talked about the 5 pillars, but we also said there were 2 bonus pillars, and we called them the bonus support. That is citizenship, which we'll learn about when we study government, and innovation, which we will talk about as we study history. Turn to the next page in the front of your spiral and label it 5 Pillars plus 2 of Social Studies. We're going to make a graphic organizer to help you organize the information we just went over. Make a circle in the middle of your paper, and you might want to turn your spiral horizontal or sideways. I think it'll fit better on the page that way. And in the middle of the circle, write 5 Pillars of Social Studies. Feel free to pause this webcast at any time so that you can have plenty of time to write down these things in the graphic organizer. First thing, we're just going to name the 5 pillars: geography, government, history, culture, economics, and it doesn't really matter which one we say first. In geography, again, here are the 5 themes of geography. Go ahead and write those down. That will help you remember. Then in economics, the 4 major forms of economic activity: traditional, command, market, and mixed economies. The government, we will find as we go into it that it is divided into types of government, but for the overview, we just divide the governments into 2 types, which is limited, and then down here you may not be able to see it, unlimited. Remember, limited, the citizens have to follow the same laws as the leader has to follow the same laws as the citizens. In unlimited governments, the leaders can do whatever they want. They do not have laws that apply to them. Dictatorship certainly comes to mind when I think of unlimited government. Culture, just a few of the things we talked about: language, clothing, religion, music, and food. The bonus 2, citizenship and innovation. Copy all these down, and that will help you keep a picture in your mind as we go about studying these. Be sure to finish your note sheet and to finish this web diagram. Bring your spiral and bring your completed note sheet to school tomorrow. We'll be talking about the Super 7 Strands of Social Studies, and we'll be doing an activity applying your new knowledge. See you tomorrow.